Welcome to episode 8 of this summer's limited podcast series, 100 Days of Mothman, brought to you by the Caffeinated Cryptid Podcast Network. All summer long, we're diving deep with eyewitnesses, paranormal researchers, scientists, and filmmakers to explore the mystery, madness, and the legacy of Mothman. Episode 8 of our 100 Days of Mothman series takes us deeper into the heart of Appalachia. My guest this week is Heather Moser, a classics professor, author, and researcher whose work with small-town monsters has made her one of the most respected voices in paranormal storytelling. Heather grew up in the foothills of Appalachia, and her passion lies in unearthing the spooky tales of the region and digging through the historical and genealogical records that give them roots. She's also a producer and researcher with Small Town Monsters. And you can catch her on her own podcast, The Lore You Know. In this episode, Heather and I explore not just the Mothman, but the wider world of Appalachian cryptids and folklore. We trace stories through history, culture, and community, shining a light on why the region continues to breed legends that capture imaginations around the world. If last week was the halftime show, this week is the deep dive. Thoughtful, rich with history, and rooted in the mysterious hills and hollers where these stories first took shape. And of course, I'm Bobby, host of the Caffeinated Cryptid Podcast Network, and this is episode 8, 100 Days of Mothman. You can watch the full video on YouTube, or listen on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, and several other of your favorite audio apps. Or catch the series anytime at Mothman100.com. And as always, do me a favor, please like, subscribe, and follow and share. It helps me more than you know. Counting this one, there's only 3 episodes left, folks. So grab your moonshine, set the GPS for Muhlenberg County, and join Heather Moser and myself as we explore Mothman and the Cryptids of Appalachia on episode 8, 100 Days of Mothman. One hypothesis I have on the entire, not just Mothman subject, but cryptid subject whatsoever, is that they're frequency based and only certain people can see them because of how genetics, what have you, their whatever makes them feel predisposed to seeing paranormal. Some people do, some people don't. I specifically don't, but some people around me do. So I'm thinking, the Native Americans, when they were in the woods, they lived in the woods. They lived outside, lack of a better term. They were based on the frequency with the earth. And so they had all the experiences. Yeah. And they had, that stuff just came to them because their mind was in that same space. I think if we were to, one, get rid of fluoride, which may or may not be doing something, and touch grass more, we may have more of those kind of experiences now as modern humans. And I say all that to say this, that in the 1700s, the Appalachians were settled by the Scotch Irish. They called them something else, which was a weird name. I can't think of what it was. It was like the Scotch Oric or something. I was looking that up. I can't find it anywhere. I found it one time. It could have been a Wikipedia mistake for all I know. But I think, that was 1700s. I mean, they moved out there and they were basically in a cabin. They weren't like in a sheetrocked home like we're in with all the amenities. They were basically the same situation as Native Americans, minus some, modern technology, some Victorian age technology, guns and such. So I think that their frequency started matching too. And I think that's how they got to be such in tune with the cryptids of Appalachia. I think that's the reason that region is so rich with it. Not to mention the age of the actual mountains. And tell me if it sounds like I'm blowing smoke up your skirt here, but I'm just I always try to come up with reasons that beyond a hidden ape or beyond a hidden animal to explain these cryptids. And I think that a lot of the stuff is like buried in our mind. If you tune our mind to the right frequency, you start to see them.
Yeah.
And that's why all the people that see them are horrible with technology because they never use it because they're out in the woods. And that's the reason good Bigfoot guests have horrible cell signals. Like the best ones are just like got their thumb. Like, I saw him, but yeah. I mean, can you hold this camera still? Get out of the bathroom, sir. Can you come out of the bathroom? And the best ones, I'm telling you. And that's just, I think the age of the Appalachians and the frequency of the people who settled them are the reasons we're getting so much out of them right now. Now, I think that the stuff would be there regardless of if they were settled or not. I don't know if the cryptids follow people. Like, is there as in Antarctica, are the cryptids just going nuts because there's nobody there? I don't.
That's something to think about.
Yeah, I mean, do they hang out where people aren't there to tulpa them? I mean,
All right.
See, the rabbit
Right.
hole already opened up. We're just now starting.
Yeah.
We are deep down it. We're chasing the rabbit. That's all my mind is. I thought about this in Target today, thinking about this episode.
Yeah.
I'm just like trying to get my mind into it, like without doing psychedelics. So I don't know if that's something that you research. I don't know how your research goes. Is it more scientific? Is it more all encompassing? Just trying to, because I know people. Yeah, I know most people try to start scientific and end up in the woo. Is that what happened to you?
No, not really.
No.
No, I started more, I guess, historical or folklore based, where I was looking up like folk tales, like looking at Ruth Ann Music's books and just what locals have said over the years. And that's pretty much where I started. I mean, aside from growing up in the area and hearing like hearsay. But yeah, other than that, it was just reading books where it is more folklore, where it's word of mouth that was finally transcribed down on paper. So that kind of thing. I haven't really gone the scientific route on things because I think partly because my brain just doesn't work that way as well. Like I did well in math and science in school, but they were ones that were harder for me, subjects that were harder for me it wasn't as easy, I guess. It didn't all click as well. So that's just not where I am. And my background is in classical studies, like Latin and Greek. So I am used to studying history and the old stories and things like that. And that I've just transferred that over to what we're doing now.
I was terrible at math, but pretty good at science.
Yeah. Well, I love like certain sciences, but not all of them.
Can't do chemistry, just math. You're not fooling me.
Yeah, exactly.
That's an exponent, lady. Get the F out. That's not science. I want to talk about dinosaurs.
Right.
Mitochondria, photoplasm. That's a math problem disguised as science, and I'm not falling for
it. Yeah. Chemistry was rough.
Can we talk about cell walls, please? Thanks. Or what's it? Chlorophyll. Well, mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell.
Yep. So I remember that.
Here's one you'll like. And I'm probably going back. This is probably 101 for you, but keep in mind this podcast is like me being a fanboy of everything and enjoying myself. So you have to bear with me. But this one, the Pangea, Appalachian Mountains, can you see that? Like I love the fact that you got not so much the Scandinavian and the Greenland and the Morocco part, which is amazing, which proves that, the earth moved around, things moved.
Yeah.
But the big ticket item here is the Scots and Irish Highlands. And and I know that the cryptids in Scotland and the cryptids in Appalachians are the same.
Now, they brought them with them.
In a perfect world, it would be the fact that they were there before the split, which, probably didn't happen. It's probably the lore that they brought with them. But I love the fact that it's the same mountain range.
Yeah.
And like, is there rhododendrons in Morocco? That's what I want to know. Just,
I don't know. We should Google that.
Miles and miles of rhododendron and pancake houses.
Yeah, that's it.
Like, is there an Atlas Mountain Trail? And there was a thing that I'm sorry for my cough drop here. I've had the awfulest cough and sickness for the past 2 weeks. Not sickness, but dry throat.
Yeah, no worries. Everybody's going through it.
Yeah, I coughed some guy to death last Thursday. Just over here like Doc Holliday talking to him. But the Wendigo, I keep calling Wendigo, like a gas station attendant. They didn't have antlers before the Scottish got over here.
They were more of an emaciated looking person, tight skin, drawn back against the teeth, and the whole idea of you don't turn into a Wendigo until you are starving and eat flesh. So it was just an exaggerated starving person, really, is how I always took it. Is the rake and the Wendigo close to the same thing? I could never get, because every time you see a picture of one, you see a picture of the other. Yeah, I don't think so. I feel like the rake, at least the term rake, I feel is pretty new, actually. And I don't know what they're talking about. If they're talking about things that other people call pale crawlers or See, when you get into these
Mm-hmm.
subcategories, there's so many different things that I'm not sure that everybody's talking about the same thing so much as they look very similar in appearance. But no, I don't think they're the same thing.
Yeah, and it's that classic meme that everybody posts of that little Skeletor looking thing crawling on the ground.
Oh yeah, that's from like the video game or something.
Yeah.
I thought.
Yeah, it's from God, I can't even remember what it is. Tremblay was talking about it. Somebody always sends it to him.
Mm-hmm.
He sent him that one and the one where the guy's walking like on his legs backwards.
Yeah, I don't.
That's the one that like to go around. They put it on a game camera. Seen in Wisconsin. No, it wasn't.
Yes.
It's been on the internet for 3 years. Yeah, those two are the classics. When I think Appalachian cryptids, I think Wendigo with antlers.
Mm-hmm.
That's the mascot, even though it's fairly new.
Yeah. I don't know. When people say cryptids in Appalachia, I think of, or Appalachia, depending on how you say it or where you're from. But
throw an Appalachia.
That's right. So I think that the big mascot, of course, is Mothman.
Oh yeah, I mean that's the corporate headquarters there.
That's right.
But even Mothman, he's kind of on the cusp. He's sort of hanging out on the edge.
Yeah. Even I've noticed a differentiation between, at least in the few reports that I've taken. It's not that I got a chance to take a lot when we did this Chicago Mothman stuff, but the few that I did talk to, there was a definitive difference in the way that they described their version of the Mothman versus West Virginia. And that was more like a leathery winged type thing around Chicago than around here. It's more like a bird-ish entity.
Yeah, it seemed more like a bat in Wisconsin and Chicago, and less like a Garugula. What's it? The
Garuda?
The year of the Garuda. I keep calling them.
Yeah.
One time I called them arugula.
The type of lettuce.
the year of the bok choy by John Keel. The year of the Swiss chard. Also an alternative. But yeah, and Lechuza. You got the Lechuza and the Japanese Dragon Man and Owl Man of the UK. It's all the same thing. And you get over like you were saying, Wisconsin, O'Hare Airport. It was like a bat.
Yeah.
Had that weird gargoyle. That's what they were calling him.
Mm-hmm.
A couple people.
Yeah. So then, is that a separate thing altogether?
Yeah. I mean, that Chicago thing, and I've talked about it ad nauseum for like a month straight because I had Tobias and Barnaby Jones and Allison Journland, just like the all-stars of Chicago Mothman. And it is a excruciatingly frustrating subject. I almost don't like it because there's nothing happens except people walk out and see a giant thing and run back in their house.
Right.
And everybody's pedestrian. It doesn't chase cars.
Right. So it's calmer. Is that what you're saying? It's more passive.
Is it, or is it just like there's no chance to chase cars? There's no since everybody walks in the big cities. Yeah,
that's true. Yeah, the story that comes to mind right now is from Paula, which she was on the trail of Lake Michigan Mothman, but then also on the recent iteration of Unsolved Mysteries, they had her on there, and her story was like she walked outside to take her trash out or something, and it was by the trash cans.
Yep, there it was with the red eyes.
Yep. So it was, I don't know what it was doing by the trash, but scrounging for food, maybe. I have no idea. And why would it need trash? I don't know.
I just took my trash out. Just took my trash down to the road, as a matter of fact. And I'm thinking about
anything.
saw a Honda Accord, but I was thinking, like, just in my mind, if I walked outside and in the suburban areas, it's dark, but it's not dark. And I'm wondering, like, they try to pin it as a hoot owl, but I've been between me and my wall here from an owl before in a tree stand, and even if I just walked out, even if I woke up and saw it, I wouldn't think it was Mothman.
Right.
I mean, it's the size of a big chicken. It's an owl. I mean, it's just not an owl.
Yeah. Yeah. The only time that I can think, like, when you see an owl fly, like the one time that threw me off the most seeing an owl was when we were just driving down the road middle of the night, and it swooped down in front of the car, and the wingspan is as wide as the car. So that was like shocking, but the body isn't humanoid length.
No, it's clearly still 3 feet tall or 2 feet long.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just the wings are massive, but yeah.
Yeah. With the white underbelly, when it swoops, I know what you're talking. Yeah. Everybody's had that happen. Just,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
I had one in my backyard. I was trying to do a CE5 one afternoon or one night.
Mm-hmm.
I was having some fun, and one swooped at me. You're not ready for an owl to swoop when you're trying to do a CE5 session.
No,
I'm not sure that I didn't make it happen because the whole Close Encounters of the Fourth Kind is they turn into owls anyway.
It's I've never done CE5.
I made it work one time, and I'm cool with it. Like I've tried it again. Nothing's ever happened since, but
yeah,
I had one like a white light appear in my backyard for like a second in the shape of an Amazon logo. Just and it wasn't a meteor, and it went, and like it's like when a state trooper flashes his blue lights at you and you're going like 80. He doesn't want to pull you over, but hey, just cool it. Yeah, cool it, bucko. Is what he's saying.
Yeah,
it was like that amount of times.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And where are you again?
I'm in North Alabama, Huntsville.
North Alabama. Okay.
Where they brought all the Nazis.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Gotcha.
So
things are interesting.
Yeah, and it's the perfect place to start a red pill podcast like this. And I didn't even go cryptid until like 2 years in. It's I tried to make it more it's going more toward expanding back out to just weird instead of just focused on one thing, because I'm really thinking it's more fun and more interesting to people if I just do little limited series like this. This is going to be 100 Days of Mothman, and I'm coming out with a documentary on Friday about just across the Tennessee line in the 70s. There was a bunch of Bigfoot sightings. They even like formed a posse to try to kill it and shot at it. And I went up there and met some people and went to some original sites and shot video and just made it's like a podument. It's like a podcast with like documentary elements. And that's coming out Friday, and that's going to be fun. I think it's going to get some good response because it's how hyper local focused it is. So I think I'm going to do more things like that instead of just like talking to people every week and having a chat. And it just doesn't get traction. It's fun, doesn't get traction. Niche is where it's at.
Yeah.
I think that's why Small Town Monsters does so well, because they drill down hard on each little movie.
Yeah, we try. That's for sure. And try to keep in mind what people are saying, like obviously there's a huge push for Bigfoot right now. The comments are, and they want more boots on the ground stuff. So we're going to try to do more of that. They get tired after a while of the just interviews,
Yeah. But that's so frustrating. Boots on the ground with that stuff is so frustrating because we all know it's going to be almost impossible to get anything without a serious advancement in technology. There's not going to be anything. You're just going to talk to people in the woods. You're going to do the same interviews, but like in the woods. That's all the only difference. Well, he was right over here. That's the tree I saw him next to. Instead of him just telling you it was next to a tree, it's going to be pointing at the tree. That's the only difference.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's the truth though. But like I always say, how do you know a Bigfoot photo is fake? Is if there's a Bigfoot in it. That's clearly not real. It's got something in it.
Yeah. I was thinking the other day that even if we were to get even at this point, if we were to get something on video, that's not going to be enough for people because AI has advanced so far that anything could be created. So nothing is going to be like, it might get people that have had experiences to be like, oh yeah, that's exactly it. That's what I saw. I saw that. But people who haven't had the experience, or like what we need is scientific community to acknowledge that these things exist so they can be, acknowledged, protected, whatever needs to happen. That's not going to happen until there's a body, a specimen of some sort for them to examine.
I don't think it's possible to get one.
Yeah.
I don't think that, like I go straight to the woo every time because it seems to be the only reliable thing.
Yeah.
Hidden monkey's not it, obviously, because it would have been on a game camera by now.
Yeah. Yeah. There's definitely been some weird instances where people are able to like record on audio something walking up to the audio recorder, but then a camera that's trained on the same area doesn't pick anything up. So how does that? I don't understand how that works.
Have y'all heard about heard reports of orbs that make crunching? Like
No, I have not.
Floating orb with footsteps under it.
No.
I've heard a couple of those, and I had one of my friends in Minnesota, Randy Bauer. You may have heard of. You probably seen like a little report of his place, but he was in a tree stand one night about 11 o'clock. Saw an elevator door open, square door, northern lights. It was all glistening, and two orbs came out. He said, "Big as a hula hoop." I'm like, he had a hurt shoulder. He was doing this. I said, "You like big as a hula hoop?" He goes, "Yeah, hula hoop." He called him hula hoop. Seems from Minnesota. Big as a hula hoop, and he said they floated bright orange, pinkish orange, and was floating. And all of a sudden, they started hearing crunching, and it morphed into two bipedal creatures. Went to the gifting area, grabbed the apples and the peanut butter, and they started walking back. Turned back into orbs. You still saw crunching, and then they floated back into the portal there.
What?
Yeah, he has hit somebody with him that saw the same thing. Like John Badger was his neighbor, and I talked to him too. He goes, "Yeah, man, it was freaking nuts." And
yeah,
Greg Ogle's documentarian, he's seen orbs with crunching, like just like they're maybe they're cloaked while they're doing it.
Right.
That's the kind of thing you hear. You're just like, well, there's never going to be any evidence ever.
Right. Exactly. Too many unknowns. And
if they can do that, we're lost before the game starts.
Yeah.
Like, where are the bodies? There are no bodies. They don't use bodies. It's
exactly
the holodeck.
Exactly.
And that's the kind of thing. Now, you said you did folklore. Do you ever do anything with Fae lore? You ever dive into that?
Not too much. And I am not entirely sure what has been the hesitancy there. I've looked into it a little bit, but I think that my gut just knows I'm not ready for that rabbit hole yet. Because I feel like once I start into it, I'm really going to get lost in it.
I think you need it. I had a guest on that was fluent in it.
Yeah.
And was telling me the comparisons in Fae and Bigfoot lore. Yeah. This turned into a Bigfoot podcast. It's okay. We're talking about it's Appalachians, a deep dive in 400 level Appalachian stuff. But to call a fairy, you knock on wood. And to call a Bigfoot, you knock on wood. And if you take something from a fairy and eat it, you become part of the fairy realm, and the food turns into leaves and bark and dirt. Like, is that where the fairies? I'd have to watch the video again. I just played the whole clip at a convention 2 weeks ago. But the comparisons are straight across the board. Fae lore.
Who was that you had on?
Jason McLean. I can send you a video.
Oh, okay.
I clipped it out. You may know him. I don't know who knows who.
Yes. Yeah.
But he was telling me, and I was getting weirded out. I'm like, that's the same thing. I mean, it's
yeah.
And if they do that, who knows when they clip out, if and when. This is all hypothetical. When they clip out, do they turn into like just leaves? I call it like the Field of Dreams effect.
Right. Yeah. There's a story that I heard out of, I believe it was Pennsylvania, where somebody had come up on something that would be like Fae-like, little little beings of sorts, and one took off, like the one like vanished into the hillside, I guess. Then the other one took off toward a creek and jumped in the creek, and by the time it hit the water, it was a stick that just floated down. It had shapeshifted into something natural, but just little Fae creatures wrestling around, I guess.
And even John Keel said he saw strange UFO like crafts float behind a mountain, and then 10 seconds later, an airplane flew by. Like a thing, light went behind a mountain, and like, what was that? Is it a UFO, like a triangle-shaped object, just quiet as it can be, disappeared behind a hilltop, and then here come an airplane.
Yeah.
Like what?
Yeah. How did those two cross paths and not see each other?
Well, his implication was maybe it shifted into it, and that's how it got away. I don't know.
Maybe.
If they can turn into a stick, they can turn into an airplane.
Sure. Everything's on the table at that point.
Mm-hmm. And do you ever get into like the UFOs crossing paths with the cryptids, dropping them off, or being associated with sightings?
A little bit.
Areas?
A little bit. We've gone into high strangeness territory when we've explored the Chestnut Ridge. It's like full of high strangeness. But yeah, I've heard reports where, especially when it comes to Bigfoot, where there's a tie with like UFOs being seen in the area, and then there's Bigfoot sightings at the same time. And there is the story out of the Chestnut Ridge area of a Bigfoot carrying a white glowing orb, which is super weird. But yeah, I mean, I know people that their theory is that they are connected, that they are almost, I don't know if they're so much aliens or what, but they have them connected in their mind. That's how some people have tried to rationalize whatever Bigfoot is that there's some sort of alien type being.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I don't know if it's also a situation where like they just coincidentally happen to be in the same place at the same time. Like we see a Bigfoot because there's also a UFO in the sky and they are also curious. Like, oh, what is that? I don't see that often. And then we happen to be in the same place at the same time. Bam. I don't know what it is.
The veil's thin right there, so everything comes through at once.
Mm-hmm. That could be.
I compared
if that's the case, then we should check out things closer to those thinning veil times, so to speak, whether it's closer to Halloween or eclipses, equinox, things like that. Maybe there's more to be found during those times.
Mercury retrograde.
Maybe.
I ended up at a witch shop in Salem talking to Mercury retrograde with some lady that said she was a witch. I'm like, how did I end up here? Where have my travels taken me? And I was okay with it. I'm like, this is cool. A Catholic guy in a witch shop.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
From the South in Boston.
Mm-hmm.
What could go wrong?
It all works out.
Oh, I wasn't worried about it at all. I was going to go deeper.
Yeah.
I was like, hell yes. Tell me more, witch lady. I want to hear it. and I was see, Mercury. I was losing my train of thought there. But yeah, they come together and you see like a UFO and a Bigfoot. And I know what it was. I was going to say I always compared it to our technology. We got Android and iPhone.
Mm-hmm.
And like maybe for lack of a better term, technology on the other side of the veil, whatever the fourth dimension is, they have like the eye portal, the Android portal.
Right.
So everybody uses the same, like the eye orb. And so like if you're a lizard person with wings and you want to come over and steal some souls or whatever they get from it. Whatever they're here for, our energy, negativity to, taste a steak like that guy on the Matrix, Ignorance is Bliss, whatever. They're like, okay, I want to hop an orb over to the 3D, and I'll be right back. And so they're like, in their orb. I mean, that's what they do. They get over here and they can either come in and manifest or stay cloaked.
Yeah.
I don't know the motivation to manifest though. Why would they do that?
I don't know. I don't know. When you talk about like Bigfoot specifically, what you get is a story, like people talking about them being more curious, as if I don't know necessarily studying is the word, because I don't think that there are a bunch of scientists coming over to study us necessarily, but they're just curious about what's going on. Where with other cryptids, you don't really get necessarily the curiosity factor so much as either they just happen to be there, or with certain ones, it's more of a malevolent situation. They're there to hurt or scare or whatever. But with Bigfoot, it seems to be a more curious nature for whatever that may mean. I don't know.
I was gonna throw that in. That some of them are just to instill fear, like like Mothman. Like the notes I made, Mothman makes a point to be seen. he could flee. I mean, he's a giant moth or giant bird person that can fly like a helicopter, but he hangs out till he scares somebody. And always watching, always outside of your damn bedroom window. One of those guys. He's always covering. Like,
right, a creeper.
Yeah. Remember when Marty McFly was on the hoverboard and just
Yeah. I still wish we had those by now. Yeah. It was my hope that when I got older to an adulthood that we'd have hoverboards, but
somebody's got them. I bet they're in Area 51.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, Mothman, he's not like curious. He's not a trickster. You never get like fun out of Mothman. It's always pure fear. Like, what in the hell is that? And it's 7 feet tall. Like, I've seen a dude at the wing place by my house that was 7 feet tall, and I'm like, God damn. And I'm like, I didn't mistake him for an owl or nothing. He was
that's good.
I'm just like, if you see somebody that's 7 feet tall, that dude is 7 feet tall. He's not a 3-footer that you mistaken.
Right. Correct. Yeah.
And owls, like you said, sometimes when you scare them on the side of the road, they swoop. But that's rare. I mean, that's happened to you, what, twice in your life?
Yeah, once actually, but yeah.
and just the rarity of it. Like, otherwise, when they're eating something on the side of the road, maybe that happens. I think that's the instances that happened to me. But like, Mothman has chased cars in like 5 different instances. You know,
right.
Scarberry, Tom Urey, and Faye DeWitt. They're the ones that had it chased Faye DeWitt's car till it landed on the hood. And then infrasound her to death and hit her with the welding eye burn. I can never think of that word.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
So they're not harmless. Something's going on there. They got some kind of vendetta agenda.
Yes. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I don't understand and why they appear where they do, because it's not, I mean, yeah. Why in these particular places? That's always a question. And then where do they go afterwards? Are they disappearing into portals, another dimension? What is going on? But they're not trackable.
Nope. And there's 2 cases that stand out in my mind from the Point Pleasant cinematic universe, at least, is in the top of the warehouse when the 2 guys were in the top floor, and the creature, the winged creature in human size, was on the catwalk walking and causing like weight. And they saw it and like, well, that wasn't a sandhill crane. You would have noticed.
Right.
I mean, if you're in an area at all close to it, you know, that's just crane, and it would fly off and go, wah, wah, how cranes do. But there's that one where they saw the weight of it, like just the sheer mass. And the other one, John Keel and Miss Mallet, when they went back to the TNT area with the flashlights, and she saw the red lights on the wall, red eyes on the wall, but nobody else saw it. Like, so it's indicative to me that it can pick who sees it, who don't, who can't.
Right. Which is scary, because then if you have an experience and you don't have, I mean, that's part of the benefit of having a mutual experience with somebody, is that they can validate stuff so you don't feel so crazy. But if there's a group of people and you're the only one experiencing that, how do you even handle that? How do you process that?
Like, I've heard people that have infrasound and just their head exploding, and the person next to them is like, "What is wrong with you?" And or hear the grunt, and nobody else hear the grunt or those growls.
Yeah. Well, I've even been on like investigations where people were stuck. Specifically, one time at a jail, an old jail, and everybody heard a scream except me for some reason. And they're like, "No, it was what?" Because they all jumped, and I'm like, "What's going on?" Because their jumping scared me. And they're like, "That scream, you did not hear that scream." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And they're like, "It was loud. It was right here." I'm like, "Yeah, nope, I didn't hear it for some reason. I wish I did, but nope."
What's scary to you?
I think I wish I did.
What's scary to you, hearing the scream or being the only one that didn't hear the scream?
I think it's scarier to hear the scream than to not hear it, because as long as I don't hear it, I can pretend it didn't happen.
La 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 la.
That's right. Exactly. No, I don't know what you guys are worried about. Let's keep going.
I've had 2 genuine can't can't deny them paranormal experiences in my life. And they're at a haunted hospital in southern Tennessee in South Pittsburgh. You probably heard of it. The old
Yes.
South Pittsburgh Hospital. It's just a few miles away from here. It's where I used to go buy beer before I turned 21. Across the state line. Like Smokey and the Bandit. And I was in there, and they had the body shoot. And we were doing an SD session. My buddy Will was the one with the headphones on. And he said 14 people in the room. And the paranormal investigator running the session counted, sure enough, 14 people. Which I was like, well, that's something. I'm going to pretend that didn't happen. And I wasn't getting freaked out at all. Like I was like, this is amazing. This is actually happening. Like, I guess that's how I would react. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then another group walked in. It was a public investigation. So they were just kind of roaming stations. A group of 5 walked in. It said, people here, something like that. And then left, it said 5 people left. Oh, okay, now that's happening. I mean, I was still okay with it. Then we went upstairs, and that's genuinely happened. That's like, dude was like, really? 14 people? He goes, yeah. I'm like, yeah, man, there was 14. That's wild. It was sitting here in the body shoot. And go upstairs to the operating room, and there's a chair sitting there, and we got the K2 meter, and it started going off right above this chair. And we set it on the chair. It went to the middle. It was almost to the yellow. It was trying to hit the yellow a little bit. Move it off the chair, it would go off, and we set it down. And I picked the chair up and walked it around the room, and it stayed. I'm like, so I'm doing this Jewish wedding to this ghost. Like I'm walking around the room, like holding it up like this, and it's staying on the whole time.
Yeah.
You take the K2 off, it stops. So we set it back down, and we're asking it to, make it stronger, and it went to the red. It went all the way to the red.
Oh wow!
While we were talking to it.
Yeah.
And then another group walked in. Hey, what are y'all doing? And it went off all the way. It just disappeared. Nowhere in the room got anything. The room almost got warm.
Wow.
The room almost turned muggy.
It's like it got spooked.
Yeah. I'm like, you ruined the whole thing. But at the same time, I watched him talking to that thing going almost like burying the needle, just in the red all the way. And it nothing go. And I got pictures of it sitting in that chair, just sitting in the teetering on the yellow. I was like, that was a genuine paranormal experience. 0% fear, 100% interest. I'm like, okay, that's good. That's good to know.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. That's definitely, that kind of stuff doesn't freak me out. It's the stuff that makes you jump or whatever is actually seeing something that shouldn't be there. That's the stuff that really gets you, which would be the same thing for seeing a cryptid or a Mothman or anything like that, because you're seeing something that shouldn't exist. So then the processing of your brain, how do you make all the pieces fit? Like this shouldn't exist in this world, but here it is. I saw it. I know I saw it. And especially if you have somebody else with you, which is why I said it's important to have that second person. But if you were the only one experiencing it, then you start second guessing yourself for sure.
I'd be so relieved to see a Bigfoot, like a full frontal, nothing, can't be a bear. I'm talking just 20 yards, full frontal, 10 seconds. All I want.
Yeah.
In a trail, and let me smell you. I don't care if I smell it, just a little bit. Just undeniable. And then just walks away. I never see it again. That would be okay with me. And I wouldn't tell anyone. Yeah. I'll take the deal. Yeah. Right? I say it when I do these shows. I'll take that deal, and I won't say I'll stop doing this. I'll start covering. I'll start covering stand-up comedy and pretend it never happened. I'll go be a sports writer or something. I got nothing left.
You saw everything you needed to see.
Would you take it though? I mean, just never speak of it if you had like 10 seconds full frontal, 20 yards?
No. I'd have to talk to somebody about it because I'd have to process what the hell just happened. That would be my thing. Because we've had activity here on this property before, and it's still difficult to process. And I didn't see anything, where Seth saw something here. I didn't see it, but I heard them running around and throwing stuff at us and whatnot. And that was still like, okay, cool. So this area where I used to walk by myself has these things in it that that are willing to come up and throw stuff at us or scare us or whatever. You know, I mean, I'm sure their intent may not have been to scare so much as being curious, but still it's still unsettling. But yeah, I wouldn't be able to have that experience and not tell somebody, because they'd have to be like, please tell me that I'm not insane.
I bet it'd be tough just like to process it, even just trying to keep it quiet, just sitting there traumatized in a chair for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
As soon as you said yourself on your property, your cat jumped up behind you and scared me a little bit. So
sorry.
Please tell me that's something you know is there.
Yeah. I don't have any cats. No,
I'm alone. Well, you got a mountain lion behind you, so enjoy that. Yeah, it's kind of like the what you were describing. It's kind of like the equivalent to when you walk down outside doing something, and 10 seconds later somebody comes by and there's a snake. Like, God, I stepped right over it. I could have been bitten. Like I just walk right over there and somebody jumps behind you or something. Like, God, walk right over the dang thing.
Yep. Exactly.
And like it makes you that it goes circling back to the whole somebody else can see them, but you can't. Frequency, experience, predisposed, whatever. Like, how come I've lived here my whole life and you're here for 3 weeks and you see them? I've never seen them or even heard them.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, how does that work?
I don't know. And I don't know if it is, like you said, people are predisposed. What I've noticed is that there are very rarely when people have experiences, like the more significant one. No, I'm not talking like necessarily just a road crossing or whatever. They were just driving up over the hill and they see something, but the more in-depth sightings, it very rarely is that like the only time that they've had something weird happen. A lot of stuff seems to follow them. So I don't know if they're predisposed to it, or once they have one experience, it kind of opens you up to being more aware or what. But there's also the people that definitely didn't believe in any of this stuff. And then that's part of the reason it's so difficult for them, is because this absolutely should not exist. No way. I mean, at least when I'm looking at stuff, I'm like, yeah, I have a belief that this stuff could exist before any experiences had happened. I wasn't doubting it by any means, but I don't know. It's weird how stuff follows people.
Those people went out of their head. They're just like, I don't want to talk about it. Flat Rock from South Alabama is that way. He doesn't want them. He's like, I don't want these things. This is stupid. He bought the property for cheap because I think that's the reason they sold it.
It might be.
He goes, because they're everywhere down here. They're knocking on the door and throwing stuff and knocking over the grills.
Yeah. Yeah.
Another factor I've noticed in people who have these kind of experiences is near-death experiences. A lot of them had them. A lot of them got, I think one guy had hit by an IED with a traumatic brain injury, and now he's predisposed to them. That seems to be a big factor. Like if you've been past the veil is just open.
Yeah.
It's not an experiment I want to do, but it is kind of interesting.
Yeah, that would be interesting to look to see how many people have had near-death experiences that also have brushes with this phenomena. But I don't know. And do you have to personally experience it, or do you have to be near someone who's had that? Like, are you near someone who is on the cusp, but like they're not doing well, someone terminally ill or whatever, and just the presence of that make things more open in general, the atmosphere, the environment? I don't know.
I think you can artificially make it happen to you just by, like I said, the settlers from the early 1700s, just being out there all the time. They're
right.
eventually adjusted.
Well, I did notice when I was researching over the last several years that there seemed to be an uptick in people that had experiences during the COVID shutdown. And I feel like that part of that was because with the shutdown, you weren't worried about the time and whatever. Like, we were literally stuck inside or to walk out in the woods and experience things. But a lot of the extemporaneous noise that we deal with on a daily basis was quieted. And that allowed people to be more aware. But there was definitely an uptick, especially in paranormal type activity, that people noticed. And I think it's just because we weren't so busy with screens in front of our faces or whatever every moment.
Not worried about work. Just doing something.
yeah, just being in the moment, being able to experience the world as it is. And then lo and behold, other stuff is there.
Mm-hmm. And it seemed like that everybody got more open-minded about it during that time too.
Mm-hmm.
Like the people who would be like, it's not anything. You heard a mouse, are now like, yeah, I lived in my grandmother's house for a summer and saw my dead uncle a bunch. Like,
Right.
Those stories are everywhere now. 20 years ago, nobody would talk about that shit.
Yeah, I know. That's the one thing. It's difficult to get people, especially where I live. A lot of people they keep to themselves. I mean, they're the nicest people that you'll ever meet, but they like to keep to themselves when it comes to the weird stuff, obviously. But when you talk to them, and first you could go up to somebody and say, "Hey, do you have a paranormal experience?" And they'll say no. And then as you talk to them, then eventually it's like, well, but there was this one time.
There was that one time. It's always that phrase.
Right. Yeah. There was this one time that this happened. I'm like, that's it. That's exactly what that is. That's what I'm talking about. But they write it off for whatever reason. And don't want to admit that that's what they experienced. So
there's so many cases of people with animals that got put down or passed away jumping on their bed.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of that. Like, what do you just pass it over? I would not be able to live the rest of my life if that happened. I'm like, well, fuck this house. I don't live here anymore. My wife.
So that's where you draw the line.
I'm just saying, like, if that happened, like, I wouldn't like it if I saw a ghost, but like, my wife put her dog down like a month ago, and I'm just like, do not come visit physically. Like, I do not jump on this bed at midnight and ruin everything for me. Like you were 16 years old.
Oh my gosh, that's funny to me, because when you're saying that you would take seeing a Bigfoot in front of you, but then when it comes to the ghost dog jumping on the bed, you're like, nope.
Well, Bigfoot is in a wood somewhere. This is in my house. I gotta live here.
I see. That's where the line is. What's in the house? Got it.
I don't mind like the thought of seeing a ghost or being in a haunted house as long as it doesn't come with me.
Right. I gotcha.
Like, I think that'd be kind of like a ride.
What if you were like, would you say Flat Rock in Southern Alabama that have all this experience? What if you were there?
Well, since that kind of thing, Bigfoot being on your property, and it's kind of like he's adapted to them. They're not like hostile. They're just kind of mischievous. I think you can get used to that. Yeah. But like, if the house was haunted and like you look in the mirror and there's a dang Victorian age kid in it, no, man. You can get used to some animals, like big animals doing that, especially if you could research them and kind of flesh it out. But I wouldn't mind living on like a Bigfoot infested place, but as long as they didn't get violent, like Exist style or anything. But yeah, just inside living in a haunted house is a no for me. It's a no for me, dog. Being in one for a night, any of those, like, would you stay here for $1 million? Yes, I'd probably do it for 20 if I could see something, but I'd probably leave pretty quick. Right.
I guess that makes sense.
It's like a roller coaster. I don't know. Maybe I wouldn't like being cohabitated with them.
Well, as long as they stay away from the house, is probably it. Because if they were up messing with the house all the time.
That's the thing. They slap the side to people's houses every time they leave. It's like a thing they do. Because we're out of apples. I'm like, don't feed the freaking animals, man.
Right, exactly.
Gifting is bad in that scenario.
Yeah. I've definitely heard situations where people have left food out for them, and then when that doesn't happen anymore for whatever reason, then they become more aggressive.
They'll follow you home. But is that the only monster that people live with? Like, you never hear anybody like cohabitating with Dogman or
oh God,
or
that would be so bad.
Oh yeah, I mean, that'd be or hang on, what am I? Flatwoods Monster, you know, just hanging out. It's always just Bigfoot, which makes you think they are more of an elemental, peaceful, earthly spirit that don't have like a benevolent agenda, but they're conscious. They're sentient.
They're more physical in a way. Yeah, that's true. You don't hear people talking about, well, that time Mothman came over and hung out for a while, and then he was back the next week, and
we turned the lamp on and Mothman showed up.
Right.
Mothman's hanging out by the
That's true.
street light looking at it. Caught, caught Mothman in a bug zapper. Just
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I love the little cartoon that comes out every year around Christmas that shows a tree with the lights all around it, and it says Mothman's favorite time of year, and this little Mothman, huge eyes, just
even though it's a complete misnomer. That's the
yeah,
best part. It's like 100% wrong about what it actually was.
right, exactly.
Even my graphic behind us here is wrong. I just thought it was the coolest one.
Yeah, it does look cool. Well, yeah, because when he first came around the Point Pleasant area, they called him the Bird,
Yeah,
or like a
Birdman.
Birdman.
Yeah, Lechuza. I think somebody called it too. Thunderbird.
Yeah, but Mothman sounds cool. I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
you got
I like it.
alliteration there, Mothman.
It didn't help that Adam West was going nuts at the time.
Right, it's true.
It's natural progression. We would call something right now, whatever the popular, like if it was like an Iron Man allegory, you'd call them the West locked in Iron Man sighting or anything like that. The Thanos. It would just be whatever's. I can't think of whatever's popular right now.
Right.
We just compare it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, and that's what we do. We use the terms that we have at our disposal, right, to describe what we've seen, because that's all you've got to work with.
And it's odd that the cryptids we see during a certain time are direct allegories to what we're obsessed with at a certain time, which tells me there's something to the Tulpa thing too.
Yeah, I've wondered that too. But then I was having a conversation with a friend fairly recently, actually, and we were talking about tulpas in general, and wondered why there aren't more like horror movie things that you see. Like, why aren't there more people seeing Freddy Krueger or Jason or things like that? Like, why isn't that manifesting more often? Like, I can't think of a single story where people are like, yeah, I saw Freddy Krueger. I can't think of one. There might be, but why would that not be? If tulpas can be, how is there not enough energy in the horror movie realm to manifest those things as well? I don't know.
Interesting. Yeah, it does seem to only be a certain few things that get put that way.
So I don't know. Or maybe whatever energy is taking on these forms, maybe they just don't like the horror movie villains. I don't know. Like, I don't really want to be the burnt guy with knife fingers today, so I'm gonna turn into a Mothman.
Well,
That'll be what I am today.
Even if you go back to like ancient Egypt and Mesopotamia, and where all these cryptids originated, or as far back as we can trace them, the morphology of the creatures are all relatively the same. It's the way we draw them is different. Like you get, like I mentioned earlier, the dragon man of Japan, the owl man of UK. It's the same thing. It's just what we're drawing. Even remember the ship they drew in India of the people coming down. It was a flying machine, but it was really just a rocket or whatever they think it is at the time. I think that that's a big factor in what we know, what we can interpret it as in our brain. We just compare it to that.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Even if things were different then,
like
or now.
Jersey Devil, like Jason McLean, he's the one he saw a pterosaur in Texas, and he's thoroughly convinced the Jersey Devil was a pterosaur, ramfractoid pterosaur. I don't know where they hide. I mean, they pop in and out too, like a cryptid. I think, but it's at the same time, if they're chilling back there and they pop through and once in a while come back in, Middle Earth style. It does make a lot of sense because it had the giant head, the lizard head, the tail that had a medallion on it.
Right. Yeah. That could definitely be. I don't know. That would help explain the weirder cryptids, because that's definitely one of the weirder ones, the Jersey Devil. It's a huge hybrid of a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, and if it was just a pterosaur, it would make a lot of sense, because there you go. The head fits, the tail fits, the wings fit.
Yeah. Yeah, but then you've got things like when we talk about Dogman or something like that, you're talking about ancient Egypt and stuff. You've got Anubis, the god Anubis. We had iterations of even deities that were half human, half name an animal, whatever animal it may be. And That's something apparently we've always been fascinated with or always been aware of. I don't know which it is.
Seems to be the dog head on a dude has been around in every culture. It's like the tortilla.
Mm.
It's in every culture. The tortilla and the beer. It's in every culture. It's always there.
Yeah.
And you got the Gilgamesh. You got would you say Anubis and the werewolves in London and those. I mean, the werewolf is a dog, man. I mean, we're not really, it's the same thing as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
So they've been around.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now tell me the difference in that and are not the werewolves, but like a not deer. What is the not deer officially?
I don't know because I didn't hear about the not deer until just a few years ago.
Great. That's my answer too. You're cheating on my test.
Honestly, okay. So I seriously had never heard of the not deer until TikTok became a thing with the not deer stories. So
like 2021.
Yeah. So like I've grown up here and never once heard of a not deer. I don't care what. I mean, maybe in other places of Appalachia they have. I don't know. But I'm saying right here where I am, which is in Ohio, right on the foothills of the mountains, we've never once in this area said, oh, that's a not deer.
What about the whistle and the call your name thing? That's like the same kind of thing.
Yeah, we were never, I mean, you'd hear about you shouldn't whistle after dark or whatever, but people do it. I mean, I don't know. But the not deer thing, if it is anything, I think it'd be some sort of like shapeshifter that got it wrong or something. Like just slightly off.
Well,
slightly off.
No, that's not, y'all are small town monsters. Didn't Flash of Beauty, Brett Eichenberger and Jill Eichenberger and Tobe Johnson, they had the guy on there that saw the deer that stood up.
I mean,
yeah,
maybe. Yeah, I'm not saying that people haven't seen weird stuff. I'm just saying I've never heard people talk about not deer until TikTok.
That was just me getting y'all mixed up. That was my brain. Wait, not all white documentarians look alike. But yeah, and that didn't. Yeah, I think that took on a kind of a Slender Man kind of thing during that time as well, because I never heard of it. I grew up in the foothills of the Appalachians in the county that borders Georgia and Tennessee and Alabama. Like it's all mountains. It's not a mountain; it's a bottomland. And we always got told to watch out for Booger Joe, which I think it just meant get out of the woods at night because we don't want to worry about you.
Right.
I never heard any stories. Yeah, Booger Joe will get you. Shut up. I'll just come in. You don't have to be mean about it. Just tell me to come in. I'm not defiant. I made a my great grandma was wild. She would have been one of the mountain mawmaws. And she was she was born in like 1900. I even did like in fourth grade, and I would probably pay $10,000 right now if I had the tape I made interviewing her about the Great Depression on the tape, and just the tape, because she was talking about Roosevelt and eating foxes and everything, and talking about how it was back then. But I can't imagine how, just being out there by yourself, what you would interpret things as, right? Good, bad, or otherwise.
Yeah, probably a lot of ignoring, unless it was an immediate threat.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. But if the cryptids out there, Mothman or whoever you got, are real at all, I can't imagine just being chilling in the Great Depression and just a Bigfoot showing up. Like, what the fuck are we supposed to do about this?
Right, exactly. Nothing.
Ate all our damn chickens.
Yeah.
And has braided our horse's hair. This is the weirdest thing. Oh, that's another thing. They call them fairy braids in Ireland. The Bigfoot braids. Oh, that's another correlation. I'm spitballing here.
I've heard them as witches' braids.
I think it's just a wind. Honestly, maybe. I thought when I first heard about it, I thought they were talking about actual braids, like the horse went to prison and got cornrows. Like that's what I thought it looked like. And I looked them up. I said, "Oh, that's just like from the wind riding around, just kind of flapping around like a loose dreadlock." But they're called Bigfoot braids here and fairy braids in Ireland. Now you can't unsee it, can you?
No, I can't.
Remember what was? I don't know how old you are. You don't have to tell me. But in the early 2000s, when Charlie Baltimore and Ja Rule had all those Murder Inc. things, and she went to prison to keep Ja out of jail, and she got those cornrows.
I don't remember that, but I was around.
Murder Inc. I love Ja Rule. What was else I going to talk about? I was gonna. Yeah, this has been really fun. I needed this. This is
good.
Let me check my must-haves. How do you feel about the legitimacy of the O'Hare sightings? And you can be as blunt and truthful as possible.
Okay, well, you're not going to get, aside from the not deer situation, you're probably not going to get much of a that didn't happen for me. Because I haven't spoken to anybody from the O'Hare sightings. Actually, I've tried to find people from the O'Hare sightings and have not been able to yet. So I don't know if that means that they didn't actually happen and they become a story, or what. I can say that I haven't put in a really strong, honest effort to search them out. So I don't know. I do know that people in what they call the Chicagoland area have had sightings, and I've spoken with a handful of those people, and they all seem legitimate to me. So I wouldn't discount that stuff has happened there. It's just that when it comes to that particular situation in general, I don't know anybody who's had that sighting.
Yeah, that's the craziest thing about that one, because that seems to be like the most Point Pleasant thing about the Lake Michigan, and nobody knows anything.
Yeah.
Like, wait, no one, all the witnesses ghost the people, and they don't respond, and you get one, and that person doesn't exist, and
yeah,
that's what everybody says. What you just said. Some people are a lot meaner about it, and you were much nicer. But they're like, it's just, some people are just like, that didn't happen. It's stupid. Like, there's no witnesses, nothing corroborates. But
yeah,
I was wondering what you thought about, because you were on that Lake Michigan doc. I'm like, that's just the craziest thing.
We didn't find any O'Hare witnesses for that. So, most of the contacts that we had actually did come from Tobias. So, there were people that he already spoken to. I'm sure he is.
He was upset about it almost. I was like, man, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Can't find anyone.
Yeah, exactly. So that would be the extent. I haven't, and like I said, I haven't gone out of my way to try to search for them. So I don't know if I had a crack at it, if I'd be able to find them. But I'm guessing that if somebody like Tobias has tried and hasn't, then I'm probably not going to get much further.
Yeah, he's not going to stop. He's an unstoppable force. And it's crazy because it's that, what's the phenomenon where somebody's telling a lie that makes it a bunch of details to make it seem more truthful? It's like that same thing, but like, there's so many. There's a situation, there's a graveyard, there's a dude, there's like an incident where they took everybody's phones, but no one knows anything. No person will come forward.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Do you know Barnaby Jones from
Wisconsin?
I've
heard of. I feel like we might be friends or mutual friends on Facebook or something, but I've never met him. No.
I happen to know you have mutual friends with him. But
okay, because you are.
Yeah, at least one of them's me. He's real cool, but he's like he had Tobias on his thing too, on his show, and they did an interview about O'Hare and a whole lot of other stuff. And what was it? He's really determined, and I don't know if he's independently wealthy or what, but he had a plan to get a job at O'Hare as a security guard for like a month. And ride around like at night with the GoPros pointed at every direction.
Oh my god!
And he had friends he lives 3 hours away over in Madison, Wisconsin, and he was gonna like stay with a friend there and work there for a month and then just quit. Be the worst. Like, that's like, how do you have time for that in a budget? I'm just gonna get this job, 400 miles away.
Yeah.
But how epic would that have been? With just like GoPros everywhere. He goes, well, nobody's going to tell me I can't have it because I was on the job.
I mean, I guess. Yeah. I haven't put that much thought into something like that. Try to infiltrate from the inside.
God, if this is going to take off for me, and that's going to be something I want to have to do. I'm going to have to put at least like a couple $100,000 towards seeing something. I don't care what.
Pick one.
Like a baby.
There's a whole smorgasbord of them.
Oh yeah, like who's the guy from Skinwalker Ranch? Goodall or whatever his name is. Not Goodall. Crap.
I don't know.
Yeah, I can't think the main guy, but I'm gonna be like a miniature version of him. I'm gonna be like hanging out in the haunted house waiting to see something.
Well, I think that's a plan.
I'm gonna waste
I think that's a good plan.
$200,000. I'm just gonna be cameraed up and thermaled up. Because I'm not really a researcher. I like podcasting more, but I do want to see something.
For $200,000, just buy a place that's haunted, and then you can own it.
Yeah. Oh, Eric Sims in Kentucky did that. Bought a haunted house in Hopkinsville.
Yeah, buy it, and then you could open it up for people to come in and do investigations, and then they can do the research for you.
Oh, see, now we're thinking like Dave Ramsey, Financial Planning Institute. So how much of a research have you done on the feral people in the Smokies?
Not much at all. Honestly, I haven't.
Not a lot to do, honestly, but yeah, I was saying if you knew anything about like Dennis Martin.
I mean, I know the story of Dennis Martin disappearing and some of the things that people have said they saw, but Steve Stockton is the one to talk to about Dennis Martin for sure. If you know Steve Stockton, but
I've heard the name.
Yeah, he's pretty awesome.
What about feral people in general, just like in Appalachia wide?
No, I mean, no, because the thing is when I was growing up, if people talked about like hill people and stuff, you didn't really, I mean, you just didn't really talk about it. If they got brought up, it was kind of like, yeah, we don't talk about them.
Just hope we don't run into them.
Right. You don't run into them. Or if there was, if anybody was like, well, it was like a derogatory thing. You probably related to some hill people, like you don't. So there wasn't really much conversation about it. So I was never really interested in it other than there was just it was kind of like a Bigfoot thing where the discussion was they exist and then that's it. It's just, they're there. And don't run into them kind of thing.
Where I always get wrapped around the axle with the feral people is like, where are they living? And how come they don't have a footprint if there's so many of them? Like, are they in a?
Yeah, I don't know how many there would be.
Are we thinking cave or shack or like bag it and shag it like nomads, like they're living in little shanties? That's what always gets me. Like, what's the next step?
Yeah, I don't know. And I don't think if they are there, they don't want us to know. I mean, their whole goal is to not be around people. So they're doing their job.
Picturing like the villains from Time Machine, just living under the blue guys, Norlax.
There was a show. It was on Hulu a few years back that was like the feral people and it wasn't like a documentary or anything. It was a fictional show, but it was something similar where they would live up in the mountains and then come down once every so many months to actually get supplies or whatever, and then head back up to the mountains. But
I know what you're talking about.
The show was called. It only had 2 seasons. I do know that.
Yeah, and they like lived in their own little colony up there.
Yeah, exactly. What was it called?
I don't know. It's one of those things I saw on TikTok with clips.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They like lived in post-apocalyptic time, and everybody else lived in regular time.
Yep, exactly.
God.
Yep.
I'm gonna have to look that up. Movie.
It was a good show. I liked it. It was just 2 seasons though.
Show about people who lived in mountains and came down for supplies. I guess this means we're wrapping up since we're starting to brainstorming. I don't know. Hulu. It's almost time to watch White Lotus anyway.
Outsiders. It was called Outsiders.
Yeah. Outsiders Hulu. Yep, that's it. Because it looked like the same cast from Sons of Anarchy.
Yes.
Yeah, same dude.
Yep, that was it. Outsiders. I liked it. It was just a couple seasons, like I said, but
It's like Waterworld.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I guess we'll wrap it up since we're now smoke circling Hulu shows. But yeah, this was fun. This was a good good podcast to run down. The thing with Mothman, which you know, is most of the stuff to talk about Mothman has nothing to do with Mothman.
Yeah.
The whole phenomenon is just like one group who were like may or may not be trying to have an orgy in an old Cadillac, saw something, and then here we are 60 years later. Here we are 60 years later talking about it.
Oh my goodness.
Well, I said it. Why were y'all out there in a giant car? In the 60s. It wasn't Christian, I'll tell you that. It was fun though. And
yeah, thank you.
And another thing is I wish that the movie would have done more with the Men in Black. I know why they didn't. I know, it came out like 18 months to the day or something after actual Men in Black came out, something like that. Part 2 at least, I think. But
yeah,
they missed like 50% of the movie could have been about Men in Black. It would have been much creepier than having, Jason Bateman's wife running around with Richard Gere in a Bronco or a K5 Blazer. But when we think about, it's the book, when you think about the whole subject matter, like they couldn't have done anything different with that movie. That was like, you think about it, like, man, I wish they would have done this and this, but that's the only thing they could have done to make it watchable to the general public.
Right.
You couldn't just taken the story and put it down, and because they'd be like, what in the hell is this? some guy's fever dream. First of all the times it was almost exhausting in the movie. All the times he went back and forth to Point Pleasant from DC or wherever hell he lived in that movie. I can't imagine if they'd been real, because he was back and forth like 900 times. He had the travel budget of the U.S. military, and I don't know who was funding him. I don't know who was funding John Keel, but they had a lot of money.
Yeah.
And why Point Pleasant wasn't swarmed by the military, that's another thing. But that's another podcast. I ask that every podcast, because if it was true what John Keel was seeing, they needed intervention.
Right.
Because that place was active.
I have no idea.
Yeah, it's a when I want to do this, I'm like, oh, well, let's talk about the movie and the book a little bit. No, here I am with biologists, and we're talking about Scotsmans.
That's right.
Yep.
History of the region, it all fits in.
Yeah, you may know about this, I bet you do. Old home places in this area, like Appalachia, America, just rural America, finding old buttercup patches in the woods. Is that something in Ohio?
Not that I'm aware of. I mean, it might be.
And I started noticing. I've known about it my entire life, because we had one on my grandparents' place. It's still there. Just it'll be like a circle of buttercups, just randomly. And because you plant bulbs in like a little area, 4x4 area, and when they grow, they grow a little bit more, like a fairy ring grows. Yeah, just over the generations. So there'll be a home place. They'll have it. It'll be the old cabin where they plant it in the front yard just to look. And then over 100 years, it's tenth of an acre, just buttercups. Yeah. So you'll find them in the woods, you'll be walking through the hardwoods, and there'll be buttercups in a flat spot where an old home place was.
Oh man.
And
that's really cool.
I noticed it today, because there's some like that. I passed about 10 of those on the way from my parents' house out in the boonies to the town of Scottsboro, where I went to high school. I'm like, man, they're everywhere. You just look in the fields and the little places, there'll be a patch of buttercups. Like, I wonder what the history with that is. And I'm like, if I took my photographer friend, and we did like some photo shoots of these places with the buttercups, and then did some metal detecting and show what we had, I bet that would that'd be interesting.
Yeah. You could even do an episode where you go to like the county courthouse and look up the old deed records and stuff, the old plats.
Oh, see, this is why we needed a collab. I didn't think about that. I was just going to show all the cool shit I found, like the old Roosevelt dimes and things like that. We did it one time back on the hunting club, and found a belt buckle that was brass, but the tang was steel, so the tang was all rusty and fuzzy. But the brass belt buckle was like immaculate. You could have still used it.
That's cool.
Yeah, and the old nails are cool too because they're homemade, so they're all weird looking, custom.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
There's billions of them out there though. But yeah, that's like how I'm doing with this project, like things I'm thinking of outside the box to make these little mini document series. Because there's stuff no one's thought about. No one's thought about. You never thought of that. But around here, they're everywhere. I mean, I'm like, what happened there? Why is that? Like, you just see it. Like, that used to be a home place. What was there?
Yeah. Yeah, I think you should look into that because that's really interesting to see what happened, if land got reclaimed or something, or a whole sickness went through the area and people had to leave, or
the whole chicken courthouse thing that just opens me up to it. I was just going to show some. I was going to show some stuff. And I know several people with farms that I know have those on there would let me go check them out too.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, this has been a great time, and thanks for coming on.
Oh, thanks for having me. This has been fun.
Do you have anything you want to plug? It's going to be a couple of months, but yeah, you can tell me now.
Yeah, just follow Small Town Monsters. Keep up with what we're doing, and that'd be about it. Check out my podcast, The Lore You Know, and Monsteropolis. And if you got any questions or comments, you can email me, Heather at smalltownmonsters.com.
All right. Amazing. Yeah. Small Town Monsters is the GOAT anyway, so follow them. Follow them. They got stuff every day.
It feels like it.
All right. We're going to end it. Thanks.
All right.